All right, friends, here we go on the Word Chapter 5 guided project. This guided project covers merge printing, which is a really incredible feature. And if you learn to do this, you will make people think you're a rock star because you can send out personalized letters based on any criteria that you want. This actually is a lot shorter than it looks based upon the instructions that you get. So here we go. The first thing we want to do is we want to download our start file. And there is our start file. You want to save it someplace that you know you're going to be able to find it, and it's going to be the version that you want. So the most frequent error that people make is that they end up submitting the wrong version of their file, and this becomes especially problematic when you're going to submit the second time. So if you download the submitted file and you end up with multiple files in there, it's really easy to make changes in the wrong file, save it, and then end up submitting a separate file. So you want to be really careful about your versioning. So this is our letter. I'm going to do File Save As and save it where I want it. There we go. And you'll notice that actually I have this already in there, and I'm going to do that and hit save. And oh, because the other one's still open. Well, we can fix that. I'll just go ahead and save it as 02. There we go. All right, now we want to insert the current date field into the letter. So it says go to the insert current date. Now pay real attention to these cautions that it puts. Don't delete the paragraph mark at the end. The grading engine counts paragraphs and it will count things wrong for you. So we're going to click the insert date field. We're going to click the date and time button, insert. And text, and there is date and time. And it tells us what version it wants us to use, and it wants us to use the month, day, year. So here we go. And there it is. Now we're going to start the mail merge. So we're going to go to the Mailings tab and select Start Mail Merge, Letters. Now we're going to do select recipients, use an existing list. Now I will tell you that you had to download this list and you had to download it from resources here. So you wanted to download it and save it to the same place where your letter is just to make your life easier, which I have already done. So when I go back here, I'm going to have to navigate again to where I saved it in my textbook exercises folder, and it's the Sousa renewals. Have to change pages here. So I can double click. I don't have to click and then hit open. If I just double click, it goes. And it wants us, this is going to be really important because you have more than one table, and it wants us to use the renewals table. And then it wants us to make sure that we have selected that the first row contains column headers. That's very important. If you select this and it doesn't, your first row of data is going to be omitted in your merge. And that's a very common error too. So we're going to click OK, and we've done that. Now we're going to do the edit recipient list. So edit recipient list, and it wants us to click the last name column heading and do sort ascending. So if you miss one of these steps, you're going to be in big trouble. And then it wants to deselect the checkbox for the last 4 recipients. 1, 2, 3, 4. Deselect. And then click OK. Now this is a little bit weird on the on the instructions, because sometimes they get an image ahead of you. But anyway, just keep following. So click OK. There we go. And then we want to turn on the show hide paragraph, but mine are already on because it wants you to make certain that you do not delete any paragraph marks. And I pretty much work with mine on all the time. So it wants us to delete the address placeholder text and click the address block button. Got to go back to the mailings tab, address block. And then it tells us what option it wants us to choose, and it's the Mr. Joshua Randall Jr., which is the one that's actually selected. And click the next button in the preview area, and actually I'm going to have to click the back because it's starting at the end, and you can see the next. And click OK to close. And it doesn't look like anything much happened. We're going to delete the greeting. And we're going to click the greeting line button in the right and insert greeting line. And here is really handy. We choose Dear, and it wants us to use Mr. and Mrs. Randall. And then it wants us to use a colon. And then OK. Now we're going to insert other merge fields. So we're going to click the Highlight Merge Fields button. There we go. We're going to delete policy number. Be sure that you don't delete those spaces. And then we're going to insert policy number. And we're going to continue inserting all the way down. So the first thing is company right here. And what do you think we're going to insert here? Oh, there it is, company. And insurance company. And insert insurance company. And if you'll just go down the list, it'll make sure that you don't miss anything. Then it wants us to do policy description, which is right here. Policy description, premium basis, rate per thousand, total premium. They could fool you, but they don't. They made it really straightforward, which is really nice. Total premium, insert first name down here. There we go. And then checking and reporting errors is next. We're going to preview the check for errors in the merge. So we've got check for errors, and we're going to go simulate the merge and report errors. Okay, no errors have been found. Actually, what it told us to do, so y'all forgive me, was to simulate the merge. Okay, no errors have been found. Now notice, this is going to be really important. Do not do the wrong file. There we go. So we click OK to do the dialog box. Now you can also preview recipients, preview results, and you can preview recipients up here. And if we click that off, this is going to be very important. This is the way that it wants your file for you to be able to have it graded correctly. Because I did it the first time through and I didn't get that. And I got a 23 on it. But this time I know what I need to do. So I'm going to hit Control S just because you can never be too careful, and I'm going to close it, and I'm going to upload my file. It should know where it is. Now look, if I click on Date Modified, it brings the last thing I did, 9/2 at 1:34, right down here, 1:35, so that is the last one. And yes, submit the file. And there we go. I got 100%, 12 out of 12. Now obviously with so few points that it's checking, if you miss a few, your grade is going to be lower. So I hope this helps.